Hey everybody, it's Mimi on the Mimi Show. Miraida, but my friends call me Mimi. Today I have Mr. Luis. Oh, and I have this messed up here on the name. Luis with Steady Beats Records.
Hi,
Yeah.
how you guys doing?
Hi, how are you? I'm excited to
Good.
meet you. I'm excited to meet you because I've done a little bit of research. I hope that's okay. And I know that, or this is my notes. Before you had the shop, you had a recording label, but
Oh, I still have it.
you still have,
Still have it. Still have it.
and that's how
Still
you
have the
put
recording label,
music.
and I just kind of like parlayed that into a shop now. But I still record music. I still produce music, and now it's just the shop is basically another avenue or another way to sell that music I produce.
That's amazing. That's amazing because you mean usually people go to someone else to do it for them. You just said I'm my boss.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you're coming up and trying to do things, you always think it. Someone else or you need someone else's help or someone else has to do things for you. But once you start doing it yourself, you start realizing you could do it all. There's no rules. There's no
Right.
rules. Just do it.
Right.
Just do it.
Right. I was saying in my story the other day that let me fix your name up here. I'm sorry, that was my mistake. In my story that I think a lot of people see dreams as impossible because they don't see how they're the ones who are to make them to make the dream. They, you know what I mean? Where it becomes a dream where it's too much of a dream instead of seeing the
Right.
reality of it.
I think in that sense, I think people that want to get things done, they have dreams, but they also need like mentors to let them know
Mm,
or guide them through that dream or, you
mm-hmm.
know, give them ideas or give them kind of advice where not to make
Right.
the mistakes pitfalls of when you're doing your own thing. Everyone makes mistakes. And sometimes when you're talking to someone who's been doing it for a while, you get a better understanding of which roads to take and which roads to avoid.
It's we all need a coach, right?
Pretty
It's like we
much.
all we need.
I mean, you
It's
could
like
do
a
it
coach.
alone. You could do it alone, but you're gonna learn the hard way.
Right. Right. Or you could get them in. Yeah, I was talking about that yesterday about needing to someone else who said, they were telling me they're trying to be a vet. And I'm like, well, you should find yourself a mentor. Once you have a mentor or a coach or just someone who's been there or been through places and like you said, like wants to guide you so you don't make the same mistakes.
Right, right. That's important because some mistakes can cost you time, and sometimes it can
Mm,
cost you um, your whole movement, your whole motivation, and you
yeah.
might just say, I give up because
Yeah.
you made a left turn where you should have made a right turn or whatever, and someone could have been there to guide you.
Right. Did you ever feel like giving up?
Oh yeah, many times. I feel like giving up right now.
No.
I'm just saying we're all human. We're all
Yeah,
human.
yeah.
We all go through. Oh, hold on a second.
That's all right. Handle the business.
Like, we're all human. We all go through things
Yeah.
where there's challenges in life where sometimes you just feel overwhelmed and you
Yeah.
think, I mean, how much longer can I do this, et cetera, et cetera. But then you get these little glimmers of light where good things happen,
Glimmer.
and then
Yeah.
that's what kind of reassures you and gives you the confidence, like, you know what, this is why I'm doing it, and
Right.
this is why. I mean,
Right.
yeah, there's
For
ups
you.
and downs. You always got to
Yeah.
concentrate on the ups because
On the ups.
you're always going to have downs no matter what. So, that's basically it. Just, yeah, there's always going to be times where you feel like giving up. And sometimes you just got to look at and think about, why am I doing this in the first place? And
Mm,
if it's something very personal and strong within you, then you don't give up. But if it's something that
right.
you thought was a phase, then hey, yeah, give up and move on and do something different.
Move on. Right. Right. Have you been making music since you were little? Like, is this like this is what you are? Is you
Well, I don't know.
music?
I've been listening to music all my life.
Mm,
When I was 13, I started collecting records. I started buying actual records and at the swap meet and so forth. By the time I was 14, 15, I had a little small collection. And my friend Eddie, he also was buying records, but he was more into the modern stuff and what's happening there. And by the time we were like 14, 15, we started doing little backyard parties. Backyard parties, we weren't getting paid. We just wanted to go out there and play our records
bet.
and so forth. Actually, we just had
Right.
one turntable, a mixer, and a cassette deck. So we had to record some songs on cassette decks because we didn't have turntables yet. And we
But you
did that
still
for a
wanted to
couple,
make it
maybe about a
happen.
year. Yeah, you
and
had to
make
make it
good
happen.
parties.
People didn't matter. They didn't, they didn't like as long as the music was good. Um, and yeah, we made that happen. By the time we were 17, I helped him buy a pair of Techniques, and then by the time we were 19, I kind of just started adulting, and I stopped DJing for a while, for a long
Yeah,
time, and then I came back in like when I was 21, 22, but I wasn't DJing. I started promoting and doing parties and backyard parties with ska bands, and that's kind of what
yeah.
started with the whole the label. And that was like in 1992, 93. Yeah, by 93, I was doing the Hong Kong Cafe. By 95, I was at the Whiskey, the Go-Go, the Roxy, and doing all the
DJing
Hollywood
your
stuff.
music, right?
So yeah, and
DJing
I
your
was
music.
just basically, promoting shows, doing ska
Mhm.
shows, and at the same time recording the bands. And if some of the bands were pretty good,
Ah,
I'd say, well, let's go in the studio and cut a record or cut something for a
right.
feature. And then that's how I started putting together these compilations of, basically local ska bands and so forth. And then
Yeah.
they started selling pretty good in local shops, and then in New York, and then all over the place. And then that's when I put together a compilation called Ska Authentic, and that was a CD. And back in the '90s, CDs were big,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that CD
I
did
was
good.
there. I was there.
It exposed a lot of people to music from LA that didn't know existed, and that was a
Nice.
good time, and that was a good
That's
ride.
what
You know,
I
that was
I
like,
think I think that I don't know if you know, but I think that you are in the legacy of Los Angeles. You are a person or yes, because what you
oh,
from what I went to research what you've done, you're cultural, you're LA. You are
oh, thank you.
like
Well,
yeah,
I I just do what I do,
yeah.
and
And that's how it happens though, isn't it?
yeah, and you don't stop. I mean, you kind of take a break, but then what happens is it calls you back, and you jump back in it, and then before you know it, faces change, people change, but you're still doing
Yeah.
it, and then then before you know it, you start spreading out doing other stuff because that's just natural. You can't,
Mhm.
you start in one place, and if you
Mhm.
stay there, then you're not moving, you're not growing, you're not doing anything. You start someplace and you end up somewhere else. That means you've
Right.
taken a ride, you've traveled, you've journeyed, and you have
Yeah.
stories to tell.
Right. That's what I like. Having the stories to tell and doing
Yeah.
the things. 'Cause sometimes I feel like people watch me and they're like, oh, she's all over the place. She's got music, she's doing jokes, she's doing talking to people, she's going, but it's because I that's all inside me, but
Yep.
it's at different times. I just have to get it out at those times. But it's not like I don't how do you say having the internet when back in the day to have an audience you would have to have DJs play your music or
Oh,
or be on TV and have a show,
or on the
so
radio. Yeah, that's
right, or
it's
try to get on the radio, try,
mhm. It was a
if you
lot
can meet
harder.
the people. Right. Now, it's so much easier to get an audience. So it's like I tell myself, like, why not do all of your things when you have uh right now for free, we have this ability, before they start
Yeah.
charging.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's you don't stop. You don't stop.
right.
Just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, that's what I've been doing.
Can I show you my
You know,
records?
yeah,
Can I show you what I've got? Okay.
sure.
Okay. I'm excited because I haven't been able to show my records to anyone who cares. It's been just me and my little records thing. Okay. So I got this is a gospel album.
Oh, Tennessee, Ernie Ford. Okay, I know that guy. Yeah,
You
he
do?
was in I Love Lucy. He was in a couple episodes of I Love Lucy. I think that
He
was
was?
Lucy's cousin,
Oh,
Tennessee Ernie
really?
Ford. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Look that guy up. He was in a couple Lucy episodes, a couple I Love
I
Lucy
just
episodes.
like I just like the hymns because of well church. I was raised in the church, so I
Uh-huh.
like I like the old school type of uh, church music.
Classic,
Shut up! So I'm gonna look him up. Okay, see, I learned already.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Now the newest one I have because I have the entire Earth, Wind, and Fire collection.
Oh,
Uh, yeah, but the newest one
that's
I
a lot of
have
records.
is yeah. I have all their stuff, but the newest one I have, which is, and I wanted to ask you about that. Um, Elton John's, he put it out on
Elton John.
vinyl, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of
So
Elton John. As a matter of fact, I
right,
just ran into Elton John. It was called timepiece or something like that. And I was like, wow, I've never seen this album. And it was a greatest hits album that was put out by K-Tel. You know, K-Tel, I mean, well, they sold on
No.
Budget Records. But it was, I'm like, wow, it has a lot of good songs. And I'm like, wow, it's 3.99er. But yeah,
Right?
yeah, there's a lot of
So
ups and downs.
I have an artist, not I don't have an artist. My one of the producers of my music is going to put his music on vinyl because he
Hmm.
was thinking of selling it that way rather than putting it on streams.
Okay.
And then I've seen like a lot of artists, you know, they'll just have their music also in a record. What's the
Uh-huh.
difference between the old way of doing this vinyl and these new ideas of doing records
Well,
in the in this way?
it's just a different way to deliver the music. You know, back in the day, the way to deliver
Money
music
wise, it doesn't
was,
make a difference.
well, it does make a difference because different, you reach different audiences. Um, and in
Mm,
my opinion, the person who's going to buy a record uh, of your music is probably going to be I'm going to say a fan, and it's going to be a stronger
mm,
fan for your music than a that's going to um, download your music. Why? Is
right.
because it takes effort to go out and buy an album, a lot more than downloading an album. And that just tells you everything. People want to download music. Yeah, that's cool, but all that's like, it's not real. You know, when you go out and buy an album, that
You don't
means
own
something
it.
because you can always go back and read the liner notes. You can touch it. You can, you know, put it up on your wall, make it look good. Aside from something downloaded, you can just, hey, show people on your phone. But that just makes no sense to me. It's just a different way of delivering music and a different way. And what would be the difference? It depends on the demographic you want to reach. If you want to reach an older crowd, then you do some vinyl because some older people like buying vinyl. But if you want to reach, you know, a generalized crowd or the biggest, you know, if you want to cast the biggest net,
Mhm,
then you do the
mhm.
streaming because, but then again, you know, you have to understand there's some people who are like, they will not stream anything.
Right,
They walk into the shop and like, I don't like any of that streaming. I don't like any of that. I just
right,
would rather buy the record.
right,
And also people are discovering that after a year or 2 years of subscriptions, they don't own anything.
right.
They don't own anything, and instead of using that money to buy records here and there, and then trade those in for other records, you're always going to own something. But in that
Right.
sense, they don't own anything. They just
In
own,
streaming, you
I
own
guess,
nothing. You just
the
hear it.
the right to listen to the music, which is weird. But you can't sell that right, you know.
Oh, say that
So,
again. The right to listen to the music. That's what they're
but you can't
selling you
sell
with
that
the
right.
streaming.
You don't own that right, you know. Records are the same way. You really can't. Um, how can I say sell the music, but you can sell the record. See, there's a difference.
Hmm. I like the second one better because you
Yeah,
get to tangible.
yeah, and then and
That's
then
it's
that
like a
record,
scam. Is it like a
you
scam?
never know if someone samples it, some CDs, whatever, it gets on the sample before you know it, everyone wants that record, and then it goes up in price, and then you could sell it for more, and then you made your money on it, and then what's the
Then you're
problem?
done. Right.
That's just the way it is.
What would be I guess I have to ask, I know it's probably a cliche question, but um as I've been making I could say I've been making music since I was 9 years old because that's the first time I wrote a song. But I can say life has allowed me to be myself just the past couple of years. So now I finally have music that I'm streaming and I'm figuring out how to make it or whatever. Uh, but I would still be considered new because I just released music. Um, what would be your advice if I want to perform more often? Can I ask that? I want to
Oh,
perform
it's
my
easy.
music more.
But giving you advice easy. Doing what I'm advising is hard, and a lot of
Mhm.
people don't want to do it. And when they don't want to do it, they limit themselves, and then they ask themselves, "How do I get to where I want to be?" It's, well, you know, um, you have to want it more than the other guy. And if you want to perform if you want to perform out more, what I would suggest it'd be the easy thing. It'll take maybe about a month or 2 months, but you'll cover it is basically go out to every club that you want to perform and see the performers there, meet the performers there. And if you want to perform there, maybe they'll get you an opening slot there. But you
Mhm,
can't do it sitting behind a desk. You have to be
mhm,
out there and meeting people.
mhm.
and
Mhm,
networking and say, hey, listen, this is who I am. They're like, oh, you know what? We're looking
mhm,
for someone like this. Sit
mhm,
in with us or whatever.
mhm,
And that's how you do it. You have to actually
mhm,
go out there
mhm.
and
So I'm almost there. I just have to go
all
a
the
little
clubs that
harder.
you think I like to play there. I like to go there. Go out there first. Go meet the
Right.
DJ. Go meet whoever are there. Go meet the artists that are playing. Go meet the bartenders.
Hmm. Yes,
Get your face
yes. Okay.
familiar
So
with them, and
I'm on the
they will
roll.
start getting to know you.
Yeah. I need
But
more
if you don't do
intention.
that, no one's gonna get. No one's gonna start
Right.
to get to know. And
I
then you're
just
gonna
came
ask
from
yourself,
Tennessee.
how do I do this? Well, that's not easy going out almost every night, but you have to do
Right.
it because that's what they do. I mean, a
Right.
working DJ and a working artist are they want to be working 3 to 4 nights a week,
Yeah.
and you have to get used to it.
Yeah.
You have to be out there. If you're not out there, then
Yeah.
I mean, and with time, you'll probably get to the point like, I'll just do 2 nights a week, but they're good paying gigs, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But you can't get there, right?
Yeah.
You can't skip steps. You got to start at the
Right.
bottom. Start at the
Right.
bottom and get to know people and get to
Yeah.
know the clubs and get to know where you want to be and so forth. You'll never know. You might meet other musicians who feel the same way. You might start a band.
Right.
You start a band, and before you know
That's
it,
where I went.
a
I
different
just came back
direction
from
happens.
Tennessee for that. I just came back from Tennessee doing that, talking to bands. I went on Broadway and I just talked to a bunch of bands and talked to a bunch of people, and because I have country songs that I
Hmm.
don't have music for. I just have country written songs. And being here in LA, I haven't found any country artists uh to work with, but I have found a lot of rappers, a lot of old school
But
music
you
artists like West
probably
Side.
haven't run into country artists
I
because you
haven't.
don't go to the country bars.
Oh, say.
Let's go to some country
Okay.
bars.
Yeah. Thank you. Because I went to Tennessee. That's what I did, was just go to Tennessee to country bar. But there's country bars here. I just
Oh
haven't
yeah,
seen them
yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah. And they're different because it's like this. You go to Tennessee looking for a country bar, but they're not really playing country. They're playing other stuff. Why?
Oh
Because
no, that
it's
shit
country
was
music.
it was country. They ooh. One boy that I met, he had 15 harmonicas on the floor.
Wow.
And every song that he would sing, he would pick a different one, or he would, and then put the harmonica and he'd play guitar and play harmonica. I recorded him
Uh-huh.
because I'm like, this man is a star. So I'm like, let me see, maybe I can get him on the show or talk to him. Maybe he can help me with some music, or to guide me or point me in the direction. But he works at the post office, and his following is like 20 people on YouTube. And I'm like, how in the world? This man is a star.
Well, he's not doing it for the likes. He's doing
No,
it for himself.
for
The likes come
himself.
later. The likes
The
come later, and
following,
that's
yeah.
when you're being genuine. It's like, dude, I'm doing it for myself. If people like it,
That's
great.
why I'm like, not a
But
lot of people know about you. Not a lot of people are following or buying. He was selling CDs.
mhm.
You're incredible, and I'm like, I hope you know that you're incredible. Yeah, but over there, I did because I went straight to Broadway. I did get to meet a lot of country's people, but I want to do that. I want to do that at home. So you're saying there's bars here,
Yeah.
I just haven't been. Okay.
I mean, and even if there's not actual bars that are straight country bars, there's bars who host country nights.
Mm,
And the bars that host those country nights, it's just they're all show up at the same time.
right.
Howdy
Okay, that's
partners.
perfect. Howdy, partner. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I got stuck on your song. I'll say this, and then we can end our chat. And I appreciate you talking with me. I got
Oh, no
stuck on
sir.
your song La Torta.
What?
I got La Torta.
La Torta, what was that song?
La Torta. I'm sorry, I have Puerto Rican accent. La Torta. Sí.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got stuck on La Torta. Like that. I'm like, man, I almost started writing lyrics to it, and
Oh,
I
you
went, sorry.
shit. That's an old cover, an old Peruvian cover.
Oh, Peruvian
From Yeah,
fire.
it's Peru. I'm not Peruvian, but that's an old Peruvian cover from I think the late '70s.
I like it. And I like the
Yeah, it's cool.
video. Everything is really cool. What you are is very cool. What you
Oh
do
yeah,
is
the
very
video
cool.
was done I think by my friend Rafa. He's
Good
I think
job.
he is the guy who does Cumbia Fever on Thursdays at La Cita in downtown LA.
See, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
shout
write
out
that
to
down.
Rafa and his crew, Cumbia Fever's crew.
I'm gonna write that down as soon as we get off the call, because I'm gonna have to come by then. Yeah, he did great. That was a good video. Is he still making videos, or he just does
Oh
the
yeah,
cumbia
that's his
night?
thing. He's a DJ, makes videos and lounges. I guess I don't know, but yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's a cool guy.
yeah. That's what's up. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for talking. Is there anything else that
Well,
you can
thank you,
share
Mimi,
with
for
me
having
that I
me.
can thank you. Thank you then. I'll get off the call and then I'll talk to you a little bit more. But that's it. That's the Mimi show here with Mr. Lucy. Gave me a lot of good advice. We had a good chat. Y'all have a good day. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Come visit the shop at in San Pedro. Steady B
Oh,
Records.
I'm coming. And
All right.
y'all, let's go get some records.